Now that you know a little bit about pixels and resolution, let me show you how that applies to finding images on the internet that you can use for your projects. One of the things that I most commonly look for are textures to add interest to backgrounds or other parts of the graphics that I build. And you definitely want to have high resolution textures so that your graphics turn out looking crisp and pristine and without any, weird little JPEG-y smudges with pixelation on them. So I've got my browser window open, and what I will do is type in the word of what I want to look for. So I'm just going to say texture, or let's even be more specific and go paper texture. When you hit enter, you have the option to click on images at the top by Google, and once you've clicked on images, there are bunch of results shown. Now we can narrow this search to where we have images that are only high resolution enough to print. So remember how we said printing is 300 pixels per inch or dots per inch, and let's say I want to print an 8.5 by 11 announcement that I want to look like it's on old crinkly parchment paper. Now I'm printing, so 300 dpi, and I need to take that number and multiply it by the dimension. So 8 times 300 is 2400 pixels, and that's how wide my image needs to be so that it will print clearly. To find images that are that big is going to take a little bit of looking. If I hover over this brown paper image, I can see in the bottom left hand corner the pixel size. So this is only 600 pixels big, and the first one is only 600 pixels big. So I want to see things that are only the size that I need them to be. If you click on search tools, it'll pop up another line of options, and the very first one is size. Click on size and go to larger than. Now I know that I happen to need something that's at least 3000 pixels. Wait, no, what did I say? It's late in the day and I'm an artist, not a mathematician, so 8 times 300, 24. Thank you. I need something that's at least 2400 pixels wide. So I'm going to run with, let's say, 8 megapixels and click on that and see what happens. So now all of these images that I've found are at least 8 megapixels big. So I can see down here in the bottom corner that they are significantly larger than the images that I had found before. Keep in mind, the larger you ask it to look for, the fewer results you're going to get, because most of the images that are posted to the internet are usually in the 1000 pixels and smaller category. However, textures in particular, there are large libraries out there that many people have posted for general use that are very, very high resolution and can be used for large projects. Once you've found an image that you like, you can click on it, and depending on your browser speed or your internet connection speed, you might have to wait a moment for it to appear. In Google, you can actually download the full-size image from this preview right here where it had finalized. So once it stopped loading, you can right-click and choose Save Image As, so right-click or control-click, and then save your image off. Depending on how you're going to use these images, you may want to keep track of your source. Textures typically get blended together and aren't just used to print one big picture, so you don't really need to keep track of your sources for textures, but I'm going to show you how with this one anyway. So I've got this image, it's ready to save. I would suggest in your inspiration folder or your images cache to make a folder called textures and save it there. What I would do to keep track of where I found this would be click the Visit Page button, so it will actually go right to that page. This is not what I expected to find. Okay, let me back up. If it had gone to an actual web page, that would have been more helpful, but we'll just click View Image, and then what I can do is highlight the URL address and copy that. So I've got it highlighted. I'm going to hit Command C to copy, and then I need to paste that somewhere that I can go back and get it. So I'm going to open a text edit program, which comes default with a Mac, create a new document, and paste that link, Command V. Now you can do this in Word or any other word processing type program that you have. And then what I would do is just save that single link and save it to wherever I save my textures. So I'm going to click on my textures folder. Notice right now it says save as untitled. If I click once on the picture that that link is connected to, it will change the name so that it is the same as the JPEG, but it will remain the .rtf for the texture or the text file, and then click save. I can close out of that. So what that gives me is a folder, let's see, textures, that will have a picture, and then it will have a text file that I can open up and follow that link right back to where I found that picture originally. That's useful because often if you're doing a big project, you might not know exactly the resources you need at the beginning, so you'll probably collect more resources than you'll end up using in the end, but it's really only the ones you use in the end that you need to give credit for. So if I found 10 different textures and only ended up using one of them, that's the only one that I would need to go back to that website and make sure that I had permission or copyright permission to use that image. When you only really need to do this for things that you will be without getting into too much detail over copyright and copyright rules. Kind of rule of thumb is if it is a personal project and you're not making any money off of it, then you really don't need to give attribution to whoever came up with the thing in the first place. But if it's something that is being published or is being used to make money, then there's more rules attached to that, and you need to give the person credit or even purchase the image if they have posted it saying that it may not be used without purchasing. There is going to be a lesson in a couple of weeks about exactly how to go about tracking down what the copyright is, so at this point I don't want you to worry about that. Really all I want you to know how to do is to find a large image if you would like, and then how to copy that URL address and save it as a text file so that you can go back to wherever you found your original resource if you have the need to at the end of your project.